Hello there, Roman619 here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. For those not in the know, the network test download for Dark Souls Remaster is now live in the US and the Japan for pre-download. So you can't play the servers yet, but you can start the 3GB download. So if you're interested in doing the test for that, then do get on to download that. Not quite here in Europe yet, but there is absolutely nothing we can do about that. I was searching like crazy trying to get it over to here, but I'd have to set up a US account to do that live. But onwards to today's video, and the topic for today is, are physical builds viable? And when I mean are they viable, I don't mean just going into the arena to fight any random chud, because you can do that with just about any setup in the world. Hell, I've gone on massive kill streaks with naked and just a broken straight sword, so I don't want to hear any weird stories of saying, oh, this is blah, 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 blah. I mean, when you fight a competitive player who knows what they're doing, you know what you're doing, you're both at equal skill, and that is, can physical weapons survive in the shield meta under those conditions? Now, the way I look at that is there's a couple of contenders when you think about this of what could be viable and what isn't viable. So what we really need to look at is the weapons that can counteract shield users. So the average shield user is going to be using something like an axe, straight sword, or a rapier. So you need a weapon that's going to be able to punish the attacks of those weapons. And there are very few classes that can do it. And funny enough, they're the same ones that we've mentioned, plus curved swords. So a straight sword can punish a shield user by punishing their attack and the recovery. An axe can punish this, a scythe can punish this, a curved sword can punish this, a rapier can punish this, a straight sword, as I've already mentioned, can punish this. Stuff like a great sword can, but it can't. A great sword on reaction cannot punish any shield user who is using an appropriate weapon. What they can do is, with an insane level of skill and high level play, is they can prediction trade, which basically means you guys both press R1 at the same time and you get the trade. Honestly, the amount of skill required to do that, you have to be so much better than the other person that it's just not that worthwhile. Hell, even the best greatsword user in this game, when using a physical greatsword, I have never once lost to, and he is a player that is better than me, and when it comes to straight sword versus straight sword, or even an infused like greatsword, he can beat me. Even with a dagger and an ultra greatsword combined together, he has been known to beat me. But not consistently, and he would have to switch to an infused weapon to be able to consistently beat me, which is normally a straight sword, a crossbow, dragon head shield, etc, etc. So in those scenarios, what we want to look at then is what are the best physical weapons for curved swords and straight swords. I'm not really going to look at rapiers because I'm not a big fan of their tracking. They're slower than straight swords and they're slower than curved swords. So there is a build that you can use to use the best curved sword, which is able to punish the R1s of a turtle user, and one of the longest physical straight swords. So these two weapons are the Ring Knight straight sword and the Pontiff Knight curved sword. Now the build I am using here is basically it's going to be able to use both those weapons. So I'm using Prisoner's Chain, so you have to take off 5 from my vitality, endurance and vigor. But if you look at what we've got here, we are using 35 vigor, 14 achievement, 35 endurance. I think if we minus that from 5, that's 18, sorry. 23 minus 5, 18. 37 strength, 40 dexterity, 10 intelligence, and 18 faith. For Pontiff Knight curved sword, you can stop normally around 26 or 32 are the best places to stop for strength. The reason I've gone up to 37 is Ring Knight straight sword has some very good infusion for the straight sword. I think I'm almost losing 9 AR by stopping at 37 rather than 40. But the thing is, from 26 to 37, I'm not even getting a full 10 AR on the Pontiff Knight curved sword. So with these stats, and the armor I'm using here is my build mask, because obviously that's my mask, that's my fashion. Anyone uses that is probably a fan. We've got Millwood Knight armor, Dragon gauntlets, and Elite Knight leggings. This means at our heavier setup, we can use Ring Knight straight sword, we can have a skilled Caestus or a Sacred Triumph Philanor, because obviously tiers 9 and all that. We can use a light crossbow, and we can use the Black Knight shield. Now if you look there, I've got a little bit of leftover weight. The reason is if we go to our rings, we can change from our life ring to Sun Princess ring, hit R1 to change from our shield ring to our blue tier stone ring or our red tier stone ring, and still roll. So we've got all of our weights here. We can also use any combination of, say, a Leo ring. You can bring along other rings like the Night Slayer's ring, so if you want to be able to knock through shields, honestly, a good shield user is only really going to be taking one hit on their shield at a time, so it's not going to be too useful. But if they are low on stamina and you can catch them with a running attack, it might actually just break it. Also in here I have some controversial picks, which is Ring Steel Protection, Medic Stoneplate Ring and the Dark Stoneplate Ring. I swapped to these from Lloyd's Shield Ring, and yes, it's only 3 or 4% extra defense, but it's 3 or 4% extra defense, so it can survive an extra hit. Always worth doing it. So Tears and Isle, you're surviving 2 extra hits. That can make the difference in high level play. One of the reasons the Ring Knight Straight Sword is my pick here is because something for a couple of months a few people on Dramatic Stream have been talking about, mostly a guy who's been super mad that he's not been getting any credit for this, which is a guy called Papa J, has been saying that even on PC he has always used the weapon art of the Ring Knight Straight Sword to trade with crossbows, because normally if you have a guy with a crossbow who's sitting it with it here, if they have an Arbalest and a Leo ring, they will out damage your R1, because it will do, I think an Arbalest will do about 200 damage to the average person. With Leo ring that's an extra 30% on top of that, so that will outdamage even a Dark Lothric Knight Sword, so they can safely trade with that. And normally, if they hit you and trade with the crossbow shot and you hit them with an R1, and you both go for an R1 afterwards, the sword user of the crossbow will actually be able to get off that R1 clean. So when you want to go in for that, if he's just standing there and he's ready to trade, I've got the light one there, but let's say the Arbalest, you're going in, you're not sure what to do. What you can do, Ring Knight weapon up, you can get the 4 hits, they try to roll around with you, maybe you catch the R2 there. I wouldn't go for the second R2, you go for an R1, so bink bink, this is true combos, maybe you roll catch, maybe you don't afterwards with the R2. If you do roll catch with that R2, then you're doing about 800 damage, but you're only taking about 230, so good trade for you. Yeah, so that's not bad, and obviously the shield itself, you will only take about 8 chip damage. If they swap over to the Knight's crossbow, you'll take between 8 and 20 damage chip damage. And in those scenarios, you'll have passive regen like Sun Princess Ring. You could always also switch to a Blessed Caster, so you've got Sun Princess Ring on and your Black Knight shield up, so you've got 2 forms of regen. Reason I like having a physical one is a lot of crossbow users, when they see it, will get aggressive, and the first R1 actually has a lot of range, so if they're coming in at you, you can maybe use Perseverance, they might be used to it, but the first R1 is still got some good range on it, it can roll catch, boom, boom, then you can always go for that roll catch like that, especially if you've got Perseverance to take the trade. Even without it, it can catch a lot of people off guard who are trying to move in on their range, and if they're not using the maximum distance of their spacing, they're gonna get caught. What we can also do with this build is we can swap our Ring Knight Straight Sword over to the Pontiff Knight Curved Sword, we can swap our crossbow over to the Arbalest, and we can swap our shield over to the Ethereal Oak Shield. So now we're actually a little bit lighter. We can still, as before, do our ring swap, so we can still have a little bit of there, but now we've got the Arbalest, we've got our regen. Obviously Oak Shield has more regen than the Blessed Castus, and we can also then use Castus Perseverance pretty quickly, pretty easily. So it's best of both worlds. If you don't like this the way it is and you want to have, say, just the regular one so you can left hand to be able to then use it, and if you want to get your parries, you can do it that way, it's all up to you. You can also swap your secondary ring to Leo ring at any time on both builds, and that's for those Leo ring trades. So this is a physical build that can compete in the dark meta against Black Knight Shield because it's quick enough to be able to punish those R1s. The difference between using this and just a dark build is you can't be smacking against their shield and making progression. You need to really be playing more passive and punishly. But these weapons, if you know how to space perfectly, every time your opponent R1s, that's a free opportunity for you to land 2 R1s. And then if you can get good with applying pressure and roll catching, you're going to be having a good time. Now, I've been talking for ages, so rather than wasting more time, let's go do some duels, and I'll talk a little bit more about it there. Thank you for sticking through this description for anyone who hasn't done it. I'll probably put a timestamp below for those who just want to skip straight to the duels. But anyway, let's get to it. Oh, before I forget, in the opening I was talking about a guy called Papa J's been saying to do this for ages. I couldn't also forget that Jamedic's done a video on this, and he did credit Gabri, who gave him the idea, and we had been discussing for it up to the time. So whoever came up with the idea of trading crossbows with the Ring Knight Straight Sword, I don't know. At this point in the game, we're probably 25 days to the remaster. There's not that much interest. Everyone's used every weapon to death. There is no way you can credit one person for one weapon, so I've credited 3. There's most likely people who've done it way before them. Hell, day 1 of the DLC, every tryhard was thinking that Ring Knight Straight Sword was the new meta, so everyone was using that. and that was before the Dark Infusion buff. But anyway. So the first duel, I was just showing a little bit of the Ring Knight Straight Sword. I had finished an explanation from the opening, so I wasn't really talking about the duel. Ow, you bastard. 2R1s, roll catch with the weapon arts, good times. I actually went for the weapon arts, I expected him to parry, not to panic roll. As you can see here, with the Pontiff Knight Curve Sword, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch between Ring Knight Straight Sword and Pontiff Knight Curve Sword every duel. Notice that I am a lot more aggressive, and that's what you will see here, is I will be way more aggressive with the Pontiff Knight Curve Sword, but I will be way more open to being punished. Oh, missed. As you can see from that first running attack, my spacing right now isn't the best. I have not been playing this competitively or try hard for months and months and months. Not since the last time I did a tournament have I really been looking at the nitty-gritty stuff of spacing. I'm just vaguely going to where they are and pressing R1. If I spent more time to learn my spacing, I could probably be the best player again. But right now, I'm probably not even top 5 because of my spacing is so terrible. But it's enough to probably not get a single loss in the arena. As you can see there, moving around, my opponent went to roll the crossbow and I just went for 2 R1s. Let's get a little bit more technical in the next duel. So this guy is using a scythe. Scythe has good range, out speed I can punish. They're not so good. I did some trades there, but I came out on top. He's trying some homing soul mass, which can just be walked around. Again, with that sort of weapon art on the floor there, I can walk around that, go for the running attack. He's now using some hyper armor. Tried my epic locked on crossbow strats and it did not work out for me whatsoever. So again, using homing soul mass, very easy to avoid. You need to be way more passive than that. Went to take a trade there, didn't do too well. He's got very low dex, so his damage is abysmal. Because the physical part of the weapon, all that damage comes from the dex. The actual weapon art, a lot of gets mixed in from the intelligence stats, so because he's not got a high dex, he's not doing much damage at all. Locked on strats worked there. Free aim didn't work. Reach of the scythe. Scythe has some good reach. Shouldn't have got caught there. But crossbows are quick enough to punish homing soul mass, and it is a very good counter to magic. Alright, coming up at this dude with my Ring Knight Straight Sword. So he's using those twin axes, which means it can do a lot of damage. He's going to want to play passive and have me walk into his attacks. As I predicted, this guy will not come to me at all. He wants me to walk into his L1s. He will not play any aggression. He's keeping close, just outside of my range, but if you will notice, he's not coming in at me. He's not trying to chase me. He's going to run away from me this whole fight and expect me to walk into his axe. I am not going to walk into his range. I will keep at my range and I will punish him with my R1s when I can, and I will apply pressure with the crossbow. Trying to give him some tactical gestures to see if he will actually nut up and come to me, but by the looks of it, this guy is a complete coward. Ugh. Landing, what, 1 in 5 crossbow shots? My free aims are quite off. This map is really hard for me to free aim because the floor's not even. There are way better crossbow users who would land hits here. Ugh. Yeah, see, this is a typical arena coward. Right now, the reason I haven't done my guide videos is because I'm having to play with cross-region off because I'm getting way too many laggy people, and the people I am getting are people like this. Alright, so I've swapped over to Pontiff Knight Curve Sword to try and apply some pressure here. I walked into some hits there, but as you can see, he's just running away. Ugh, almost got him. Almost got him. Let's make sure this is zoomed in while I'm editing so you can see this guy's name. What a scumbag. Okay, so I had my Pontiff Knight Curve Sword ready to go this time. So this one is using that Uggs meta that everyone's always banging on about. Okay, so if I make a mistake and trade with his hyper armor, he can probably 3 or 4 shot me. I've just got to be careful not to do that. Went for the weapon art, did not interrupt him. 8-2 hits, bad times, I'm an idiot. But the problem is he has to hit me again. So I'm going to swap my shield ring to my ring of steel protection, so that way I just take less damage. And crossbow finishes the game. You know, ring of steel protection probably wouldn't make that much difference being an ultra great sword, but whatevs. Okay, so we're back to the old light crossbow shield combo with straight sword. Now, can't shield chip like this, so a shield can be a bit of a hard counter, but then again at the same time I can also use a shield, and I can also then try to punish the R1s because I will have the extended reach. If I can also reaction trade, the way you want to use the Ring Knight weapon art is the same way you use a greatsword, which is you want to stagger your hits and only use it to prediction trade. Now, as you can see, the connection here is horrible. For this one duel, I turned cross region on because I wasn't getting many people. This is why I don't like playing cross region. Do you see the amount of delay between the hits here? He's able to hit me when he shouldn't be able to. Like that crossbow shot hit him, then he had a second delay, was able to get a hit off before it damaged him. Okay, so curved sword versus scythe. Scythe does not have the speed. So I ran into a hit there. If he was using a straight sword or curved sword, he probably would have been able to get 2 hits off easily, maybe even 3, because trading a running attack into a standing R1 and they immediately R1 does not work out for the favour. Knew the parry was coming, tried to free him crossbow, but the uneven floor stopped it. Okay, so I'm letting him come to me. He's playing very aggressive, and against curved sword, no good. It pivots, and he gets caught by the weapon up because he can't block or roll because he did a pivot. That's why you block. So this time we have a magic greatsword, so he can do shield chip, but the thing is crossbows really hurt anyone that does not have a shield. So you want a shield to be able to counter a crossbow. Something with a bit of hyper armor also can counter crossbows because obviously you can get off the superior trades, but other hyper armor things are just too slow. A greatsword maybe, but then you don't have a shield, which is why the Ring Knight straight sword's good. Same sort of speed as a greatsword to use the weapon art, but I can also use a shield to block hits like that. I've also got to be careful here. I don't think my Ring Knight straight sword into a greatsword is a good trade because it might break my poise, and if it doesn't, I'm still probably going to take more damage. So yeah, that guy managed to catch me with running attack, went immediately for the R1s. Good trades for me. Mr. Gugs guy. Okay, this time I'm not going to fuck around. Bam, bam. This is why Ultra Greatswords are never meta, and why people flag my videos because I said that Greatswords are better than Ultra Greatswords. They're also idiots. Because nothing he can do can't be punished by me. People really need to stop arguing that these are meta. Hell, I saw a Reddit post very recently that was arguing the only way to beat Ultra Greatswords is with luck or lag. No, just get good. Hello! I wonder if that guy recognises me. Waved and he's also shield bumping. See, I didn't hit him when he was rolling there. I'm waiting for him to be ready. Yep, I saw that R1. Now he's using the Halberd there. I've seen people combat that with other stuff, but again, on a good connection, red hilted Halberd, very easy to backstab. The only person who's ever used that effectively that I've ever seen is a Japanese guy because his connection is terrible. So yeah, this is good, and that's physical, so it's going to be so easy to move around and backstab punish. Dark Confused wouldn't be too bad. Oh, he's going for a straight sword. Now the problem with trying to use the weapon art is he has to two-hand it, so for me that's very obvious that's coming. I'm aware he has a parry shield, so I'm being careful with that. Bad crossbow shot. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure he doesn't set me up for a prediction parry. See what I said there? With punishing the R1s, that's how you punish any shield user. Oh, that Ring Knight paired greatsword meta. So one of the reasons why I have my Caseless on the right hand to use with the shield is so I can very quickly use Perseverance. As you can see there, I can even punish the hyper armor of this. It is not overpowered. People still think it is because they are bad at the game. It just takes a little bit of spacing training and knowing when you can punish the hyper armor frames during the recovery. Every single time he goes for an attack, I will punish him. Also crossbow. Woo! Managed to get his hit off, but he did. He did. He did. Dropping bombs for the OP meta for Reddit. Oh, Ring Knight paired greatswords are bad. Okay, so this is that guy from earlier who was using the scythe. Now, you saw me fight him with the straight swords, and not straight sword, sorry, the curved sword. Now I'm going to do it with the straight sword. So we're going to be throwing out our R1 there. We'll try our weapon art. Oh, he went for a bow. Bow does not trade well with crossbows. So he's trying to roll around me. You never roll into a straight sword. You want to roll away because someone using a pro or a bit of lag is going to catch you. This is my leech strat of walking into 6 R1s. This is why I'm clearly the best Dark Souls player of all time. Who else walks into 6 R1s? epic, epic strategies. Also, see what I did there? 4 hits with the Ring Knight the Ring Knight Straight Sword weapon up into the R2. Okay, let's just time it so when he rolls and comes out, roll to throw the thing. Yeah. Before I was shooting in time of his rolls, so I was trying to shoot his iframes. That time I shot him as he came out of his iframes. GG. So we're fighting another red-hilted halberd guy who's using Perseverance. This time I'm using a curved sword, so it's a little bit harder because I can't just safely strafe around him like I would with a shield. Although I could try that with the Millwood shield, but I'd mostly be using running attacks because one-handed curved swords on the light curved swords that flip are terrible. Might be usable on the heavy curved swords, but they had the range nerf, so I would not recommend it. So what I'm going to try to do is use my spacing to punish him here. And again, you have to be careful, any form of lag, and it is annoying and difficult to do. So as you see, I'm mostly going for running attacks here, which normally not too safe, but if he's in an attack, it is, and if he's trying to get close to R1 there, my weapon is much faster. GG, my dude. So again, another parry shield guy here, so I'm gonna... Oh, he's swapping to a much bigger weapon. Oh, I thought he would have stuck to the straight sword. Yeah, curved great sword. Gonna be pretty easy to punish. Oh, he's off. No? Oh, he is off. Oh, he also wants to rebuff. Ah, he ran into the wall. Ow. Okay. If this is the way you want to play. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him R1 and I'm going to perfectly space and punish it. Again, this is what I'm about to do now is how you'll fight most crossbow and shield users is you want to use your shield to stop the damage of that and then you're going to punish their R1s. Right now, my spacing is I'm going in too late, so I have to be just outside his attack range. So just outside, bam, whilst he can't roll. So, going to do it again. Keep just outside of his range. Took it on the shield there because my spacing was bad, but was able to punish him. So again, keeping just outside of his R1 range and then bam, punish. So much easier to do with a shield than it is to do with a curved sword because obviously you can take on the shield. Oh, my shot was bad. Alright, let's finish this boyo. And boom. Oh, he's run off to heal. Oh, so many cowards. So many goddamn cowards. Oh, nope. He's out. Yeah, I didn't catch him, lads. Okay, so I got the exact same running bitch before, but this time I have a curved sword. So let's see what happens with a curved sword. Bam, bam. Trade into an R1, which isn't the best. But I'm going to quickly go in, finish this with some more R1s. R1. Curved sword special. Now, he seems to think that an ultra great sword is going to save him, but no. However, I will take an R2 there because that's how eager I was to finish it. I have to be a lot more careful than that, but either way, here's some poop for that scumbag for running. And a point down. So, once again, we have another guy trying that unstoppable ultra great sword meta. So, he goes for his R1, goes for a second R1, 2 R1s and a punish. This time, he's gone one-handed because he wants to parry set up me, but he gets backstabbed. Easy peasy, nice and circle, lemon squeezy. Trying it again. This time he only goes for 1, tries to roll out, gets roll call anyway. So no matter what, he's going to get backstabbed or R1'd. There's nothing he can do. People need to stop arguing this is good. It's not as good as a greatsword. Oh, we got ourselves the guy from earlier. So this guy... I got it. Took a trade to get off his buff. Not worth it in my opinion, but oh well. So he goes for his running attack, easy punish, goes for a roll, gets roll call. He's swapping weapons. He's got himself a small one-handed curved sword. Managed to catch him, roll catch, and an R1. All aggression, all the time. Ripperoonie. Okay, so we got ourselves a magic user. He is using... Ooh, is that the crystal version? That's nice and slow. So he's using the weapon art of the Frida Scythe. I don't know which one has the superior poise. I think his one does. I might test it, so I might take some damage here. It's risky, but I'll do it. And... oosh. Okay, that time I just managed to punish between the hyperarm frames. Went for a chase with the R2, didn't work. Ooh, still able to roll out. GG. Oh! Oh, nice. He was able to have enough stamina to get off another one there. But he didn't have enough stamina to roll away from me at the end. Okay, so he's trying it again. I went for those elite locked on strats. It didn't work. Did that time. GG this time. Oh, we got ourselves... Okay, that was the guy who's been using the ring knight a little bit. I'm swapping over to the ring knight straight sword. I actually just enjoy it more, so I'm going to use that for the last few duels here, and then I'll probably finish on the curved sword. But this time, he's going to just try and use his one-handed heavy nerf Carthus Shotel, and he's put a lightning blade buff on it. It's not going to save him. He might get some okay chip damage on my shield, but because of the reach, it's just so bad since the nerf. It's not that usable. I've seen a lot of people try and use this. The only thing it's good for is running attacks on the shield, but that's so easy to avoid. And in this case, even though the floor made my first hit miss, I'm able to trade with his running attack, so he's going to be taking massive damage. And I can just outspace everything. He does not have the reach that I do. He's even trying to run away from the crossbow to get behind that pillar. So yeah, like I said, he was able to catch a running attack on my shield there, but that was only because I just wasn't ready to roll. But even then, it didn't do that much. I'm going to regen most of that. Oh, tried to go in for it again. Yeah, see, if he goes for a running attack and they trade, if we both go for an R1, I'll get it off clean. So if you trade a running attack into a hit, be ready to roll, because you're not going to be able to get off a clean R1. Now, I haven't been doing it much, but you can actually swap both builds on the fly. Now, if you notice this guy here, he's using a one-handed Gales because he thinks he can punish my shield. But the thing is, Gales one-handed is too slow to punish the R1s of my straight sword, meaning he's never going to get past my shield. So this is a perfect example of a weapon that is now not useful in the shield meta because it's only physical, whereas my one, however, is. I can just pressure him, I can be defensive, and I can play around it. He managed to catch me on a bomb. Again, guy using a weapon that a lot of people think is OP, but it's actually really easy to counter. He goes for his L1, backstab. GG, no re. One difference between the Lothric Knight Sword is that would have done maybe 600-700 on that backstab, whereas I only did 400 because Ring Knight Straight Sword does not have the same crit. Now, I only went for 2 R1s because I knew he would immediately try to parry. That was so obvious. Look at all these obvious parry attempts. He's now panic pressing L1, went for the third one, you never do that. Easy peasy backstabberoonie. This is the average arena player. This is what I mean by anything can be viable in the arena. Okay, so we got this guy from earlier who's trying to use the Soul Mass with the Free Decipher. Honestly, Free Decipher is better just one-handed with a Weapon Art Shield. Two-handed, yes, has more range, but it's got a unique R1 which just makes it slower than any other side. Oh, we can both trade into our weapon arts. His will do way more damage, so if he keeps using the weapon art there, he'll win those trades. I'm going to put on my magic steel plate ring, so if I do try to make those trades with his weapon art, I'm not going to take too much. Bad crossbow was bad. I took 3 hits. Just eating my health. I'm going to put on the red tier star ring, so if I do get hit again, I'll be able to do some way more damage. Elite locked on strats failed me again. This is why you have to learn to free aim the crossbow. There was a Gemetic video where he did a tutorial, so I'd say look up Gemetic's channel and have a look at that. Sounds like generic, but you put a name in there, it's Gemetic. So yeah, have a look up of that if you want to learn how to start free aiming crossbow. As far as I'm aware, he's the only single person who's put out a crossbow tutorial. Big market for that, big market for that. Not a lot of people know how to do it. I would have done one myself, but I didn't want to compete with Gemetic's video. I wanted him to get those views. Okay, so this one is probably going to be the last one because people like this are annoying me. He's expecting me to walk into... Oh, it's the great sword guy. Oh, of course he's the guy hiding. I guess this is actually a Guts cosplay, but yeah, his weapon's bad. Look, easy punishes. What's he going to do? I was told that the R2s are good. Oh, but they're an easy punish. They are an easy punish if I got close enough. My spacing is bad. You laughing at my bad spacing over there? Okay, someone's just woken up and they're laughing at me being terrible at the game, so I'm going to have to go. Yeah, Ring Knight Straight Sword, Pontiff Knight Curved Sword is usable in the meta. I would say if you're going to use a physical build, try to work in these weapons here, and this build will be a good example.